Darlings, I'm making cafeteria food, so I'm wearing gloves for food safety as I elevate this cafeteria favorite from central Indiana, Beef Manhattan. Darlings, we're gonna elevate this recipe, okay? A little terre haute cuisine, okay? Now, I love Beef Manhattan. It's something we used to have in the cafeteria growing up all the time in elementary school and beyond, right? So I Googled it. I was like, what is a Beef Manhattan? Because nobody knows what it is outside this tiny little part of central Indiana. And it's actually a recipe from a diner in 1941. I think a diner or a bar somewhere in Indianapolis. They did this. That restaurant failed, but this recipe lives on. All right? I think some of the Beef Manhattan I had as a child is probably still living inside me, still on and on and on too, dolls. But come here, let's look at this. It's so easy. Essentially, we're gonna make like a roast beef sandwich. I have roast beef. I'm gonna make some fresh mashed potatoes. I'm gonna make some fresh bagged packaged mashed potatoes, all right? And we're gonna make, instead of a beef gravy, I'm gonna do a vegetarian version, and then I'm actually do the real version, right? But I'm one gravy, I'm gonna make delicious mushroom gravy. So let's get cooking. Don't you like what I'm wearing? Oh, it's like Tina Burner's color scheme, but I wanted to make it pretty. That's called punching up, dolls, okay? But let's look down here. What do we have? I have 4 tablespoons of olive oil cooking in here. It's not really cooking, it's heating up. And then I have, I don't know how many mushrooms, this many mushrooms that I diced up. So we're gonna make a nice mushroom gravy. So first, I'm just gonna toss these onions. Oh, sizzle, sizzle. Toss these mushrooms in here, all right? And we're just gonna let those saute till they're nice and soft. And then we're gonna add some flour and some broth to make it nice and creamy. A nice delicious gravy for our Beef Manhattan sandwiches. Darlings, doesn't that just look exciting? All right, it's just cooked up mushrooms and onions, alrighty. So how I'm doing, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna make it thick. You all know I like it thick, all right? So how are we gonna do that? Come closer, let me show you. I have 4 tablespoons of flour. So I'm just gonna sprinkle the flour on here until it gets nice and absorbed. Oh dear, okay, I think that's all right. All right, we're gonna just keep the heat on, about a medium heat. We're just gonna keep stirring this until it gets a little bit brown. All right, dolls, there we go. That's delicious looking, all right? Nice consistency with that flour. And I'm gonna add 2 cups of, I'm gonna add 2 cups. This has all the bouillon I wanted, better than bouillon. It's a roasted vegetable broth. I'm gonna add these 2 cups. I'm gonna add 2 more cups of plain water, and we're gonna make this nice and thick. Darlings, don't go away, come closer. Look back at these sandwiches. Okay, so essentially what we're doing is we're making a sandwich. It's not gonna be an open-faced sandwich. We have a roast beef sandwich. We have this little no-bull burger. It's all vegetarian. There's actually mushrooms, all right? So what I'm gonna do is actually, I'm gonna use the microwave. Oh, all right, I'm gonna get these kind of hot, all right? Because I want this warm, all right? So I'm gonna use those once I get that warm. But let's back to the gravy. Come here, look at this gravy. Doesn't that just look delicious? It's perfect. And then the water is boiling for my fresh, bagged, dehydrated mashed potatoes. So I'm gonna use these 2 just to see what it tastes like. I remember when I was a child. And look at this, I have fresh potatoes that I'm just gonna get to mashing, dolls. And when you come back, we're gonna put all this deliciousness together. Darlings, let's go back down and look at this. This is the Beef Manhattan. So essentially, what is that, Tara? It's a roast beef sandwich covered in gravy with a requisite. You need to have an ice cream scooper, just like they did in the cafeteria, and scoop that mashed potatoes right in there, all right? And just smother that mother with gravy. It's delicious. So that's the roast beef one. Now, look at mine right here. This is delicious, too. This is the vegetarian one. This is with the there's something about those potato pearls or those automatic potatoes. They smell so good. I just love those automatic potatoes. Well, let's just taste this. Just get a big bite here, Tara. Pardon me. It's delicious. I mean, it's a salty gravy with a lot of starches. You have bread, you have white bread, you can use a whole wheat bread, but what's the point, all right? It was the softest, whitest bread you can get, all right? Kind of like my bosom. I'm gonna put it into this, and it's delicious. Oh, Special shout out to my friend Josh in Indiana. He was a couple years, I think, ahead of me in high school, and he sent me a little message, a little DM. The last time I did a little school recipe, he's like, what about Beef Manhattan? I was like, girl, it's already on my list. So I'm glad I was able to make Beef Manhattan. This is a delicious comfort food. And you can make it really much. Anyway, you want roasted turkey left over, you can make that with gravy, okay? It's just delicious, all right? So again, it's Pride Month, all right? Happy Pride, woo! That's something that I'm proud of. Guess what? Being from Indiana, All right, I know I talk smack about Indiana, growing up in Terre Haute, Newcastle, lots of lovely, wonderful people that I grew up with. Many of them are still there, all right, fight the good fight, all right. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of just being someone who grew up in Indiana and got out, okay? But this is delicious. I'm glad you could share one of these recipes. It's one of my favorites from childhood. I can't wait to share next week and have you back in my kitchen, dolls.